A sea of blood. Well, this is the Stormblood expansion after all. Itoka is eager to continue the hunt. Good to see you, Brillian. For better or worse, I haven't heard about any unusual incidents in Kugane since our last altercation with the thief. There may be a reason for that. Do you remember what he claimed he was moving on to bigger and better things? If we're to catch him, we may have to expand the scope of our search beyond Kugane. Yet he traveled all the way from Tyrol to this eastern land for a reason, and I can't imagine he'd go too far. Do you know any other settlements nearby? I know this really big sea that has a lot of nothing in it. Look to the Ruby Sea. The Ruby Sea is dotted with settlements. No, there's like 2 locations, I guess 3 locations. 4? There's a whole lot of nothing there. People live out in those waters, but they're so vast. Where would we even begin? How would you look under the sea? What do you mean under the sea? I can't breathe underwater or anything like that. Oh, right, that's not normal. Ah, so the Bakufu has an outpost at the Ruby Price? That sounds like the perfect place to start. Let's make our way there and avail ourselves of the soldiers' intel. If anything out of the ordinary has occurred, no doubt they'll be aware of it. Shall we? Alright then, let's head on out to the Ruby Price. It's Price, right? Yes. Should be able to just teleport straight out there? Yes. I guess this one's called the Sea of Blood because we're going out to the Ruby Sea. Hello, Ikaruga. What have you got for us? Well, this is unexpected. What brings you to the Ruby Price? Disputes? Strange thing you should ask. Not even a moon ago, the waters of the Ruby Price were poisoned to turn us... What? Oh, poised, not poison. That'd be kind of weird. The waters of the Ruby Sea were poised to turn a sanguinary shade. Please, tell us everything. A Confederate skiff approached the Ruby Price without authorization, and its occupant began hurling insult after insult in an obvious attempt to provoke us. We did not succumb to their provocations, however. After warning the vessel we'd fire if they drew an ilm closer, they withdrew without a word. However, should they attempt to provoke us again, we will not display the same level of restraint, and the roar of our cannon shall signal their comrades to rally in full force. The waters will flow red. Of that, there can be no doubt. Tensions run high. Not like this has ever occurred. I see. Thank you for the information. Might we speak privately? Gladly. Based on the testimony just now, I gather there's an agreement in these waters that the Confederates are not to withdraw near the Ruby Price, guarded as it is by Bakufu sentries. If that's the case, then as the soldier stated, I can only conclude that the vessel earlier was attempting to incite a dispute between the two factions, which fits the modus operandi. Ma'am, really? Modus operandi? Do you look like some kind of scholar? Over a quarry, wouldn't you say? Perhaps it is he who sailed here under the banner of the Confederates. Whatever the case may be, we have nothing but conjecture. We'll need solid evidence before we can alert the soldiers here to this threat. I doubt they'll heed our warning otherwise. First, we need to verify if any of the Confederacy actually approached the Ruby Price. Do you know where their base of operations can be found? You can literally see it. It's right there in the background. It's pretty close to be sailing a ship, though. Sakazuki. Looks like it would be fastest for us to swim there. Well, she did talk about swimming across big bodies of water, so I guess she'd be just fine doing that. Then again, so did Alpha Nodes, so... But seriously, that seems awfully close to be sailing a ship across. Also, I'm glad that they didn't make us actually go over there. Oh, right. Looks like this is our person. Hello, Shijoji. Okay, looks like there's several people to talk to. I didn't notice that. What? Absolutely not. Not one of my Confederate brothers and sisters would approach the Ruby Price without authorization. Those cowardly Baku food dogs must have concocted this baseless rumor to get a rise of us. Interesting. Oh, there's Itoka. Let's talk to her. Any of your comrades sailed to the Ruby Price recently? How about you, Hyun? The soldiers at the Ruby Price said that, did they? Pardon my language, but that's a load of shite. We have no interest in Hingan waters. If anything, I've seen their skiffs encroaching on our territory of late. If you ask me, they're the ones thirsty for blood. Well, this isn't going very well. Itoko, what did you find out? There you are, Brillian. Listen to what this person has to say. The situation is more grave than we thought. I'm thankful you came, and not a moment too soon. So that's an interesting pendant he has. Captain Rosho ain't been acting himself, you see. Normally where he goes, Tansui goes, but not today. He showed up just earlier by his lonesome, and ordered us to gather as many heads as able to join him on the Isle of Beko to attend some pressing business. Normally, I'd oblige the captain without a moment's hesitation, but I had a feeling something wasn't right, so I asked him what manner of business. We're gonna set the Ruby Price ablaze, he says. The bloody Ruby Price. That doesn't sound good. Tried speaking some sense into him, but he weren't a mind to listen. Walked off saying he has no need of craven bastards like me. Look, I don't know what's gotten into the captain, but it can't be anything good. Please, go to the Isle of Beko and stop him and me comrades before it's too late. This Rasho acting strangely can't be a coincidence. We need to get to that island, and quickly. Do you know the way? Well, it's like literally right there. Like, for how big and empty this zone is, everything is still cramped together. Got it. We've not a moment to waste. Alright, looks like, okay, that's the isle. All the way over there? Yeah, all the way over there. You know, I just commented about how empty this zone feels, but then when I look at the map like this, it looks like it has a bunch of stuff in it. And yet, it's got nothing. Like, literally the only place you ever go is, like, Heaven on High, and, like, the tribe quests here. I forgot what they're called. The Kaju? Oh, what am I looking for? The, Kojin. And like, oh yeah, and then Kurenai custom deliveries. Anyway, talk to Itoka. And then, I forgot about the Four Lords. It still feels like there's nothing in this zone. I hear voices. Seems they gathered up ahead. I don't know how you're gonna raid the, Ruby Price with a party of 4. Those scum think they can encroach on our territory and get away with it? I'll be damned if we let them. Tonight, we lay siege to the Ruby Price and seize it for ourselves. But are you sure? If we do this, we won't just be starting a battle. We'll be starting a war. You've been acting strange, Captain. What's gotten into you? That sounds like the words of mutiny, son. Silence! I didn't ask for your bloody opinion. Those lying dogs claimed it was us breaching the agreement. I say we give them the bastards what they deserve. You're not welcome here. Be gone if you value your lives. I can say the same for you, sir. You're a terrible actor. You're not Rasho. You saw through my disguise once again. Don't tell me you count even a pirate captain among your acquaintances. Sir, you do not know what kind of people I've met. Did you know there are rabbits on the moon? What? I've literally met and talked and fought with gods. Pirate captains are not exactly the weirdest thing I've interacted with. What are you trying to accomplish? Why incite such conflict wherever you go? Why? Sorry to disappoint you, but contrary to the passage of the Unbound's prattling about freeing the world from the tyranny of government, I have no grand designs. I wish merely for everyone to show their true faces. Folk love to put on airs of sophistication and virtue, but push them towards the edge, and their masks slip off to reveal the monsters underneath. Which is why you're putting on a bunch of masks and doing exactly what you want to reveal. They'll go for their neighbor's jugular to save their own skin. You've seen it for yourselves. It's quite the spectacle. You know, maybe we should just, like, get him before he turns into the hawk? And she's gonna miss again. Yeah, completely missed again. It's the same guy. Damn it! The winds are too strong. Sure. A man of 1,000 faces is a true menace indeed. We'll return to Onokoro forthwith to alert the captain. Rest assured, the Confederacy will be keeping a close watch over the Ruby Sea. Don't you already do that? I didn't think for a moment he was an imposter, and the lies he spouted about the Bakufu soldiers were enough to make my blood boil. To think what would have happened had you not been here to stop us. Kami bless you. All he wants is to expose people's so-called true faces. That he would use the cocoon for such a petty cause. Unthinkable. I mean, this isn't Persona 4. Like, if you just want to do that, you might as well just go to the Shadow World or something. Let's return to Kugane for the time being. Alright, sounds good to me. Let's head back to her lodgings, as she said before. Let's teleport back to Kugane. Alright, Itoka. You missed again. Damn it all. I can't believe a bastard like that. Forgive me. I find myself more disgusted with that villain each time we see him. And to think, all this is driven by a small-minded spite. From what I can gauge, he didn't fly towards Kugane during his escape. I believe he seeks a new settlement to terrorize. It looks like we're heading to Yansha next. Now that the Confederacy and I are acquainted, I'll see if they can't help me sniff out his roost. No doubt, where there's smoke, he'll be there stoking the fire. And I suppose I'll use this period to tend to my bow. Next time, my arrow will fly true, sure. That's why there's 4 more quests.